Hi, I'm here to present my final presentation on race, class, and gender in America and how it has changed. According to sociologists, race refers to physical differences that groups and cultures consider socially significant. Ferguson described race as a tool that helps to locate the ways in which identities are constituted. In this study, I'll focus on the role race had in slavery. During my study, the most compelling story was by Alexander Falconbridge, Accounts of Slavery. He manages to give the voice to the experience of the slaves while being transported to the Western world. He tells us detailed suffering and tricks Westerners used to dehumanize slaves in order to break them. This cruel treatment of slaves continues after they landed on the shore. My second primary source on race is the story of Phyllis Whitley. It tells of a unique story of a young woman who was brought into slavery. Although she was an African slave, Phyllis Whitley was one of the best known poets in the pre-19th century America. Educated and enslaved in the household of prominent Boston commercialist John Whitley, she manages to show how artistic and intellectual she was, that she was being paraded in front of New Republic political leaders and the empire of the aristocracy. You can imagine this is like a big honor because no slave was given such time or platform. So Whitley does break that barrier, breaks that notion that African black people do not think. She gives them evidence that she can be an African, if given a chance, can be artistic and intellectual. What has changed in slavery? What has changed since slavery has been abolished? America has had a black president. Despite such big changes, there are many racial disparities which have the connotation of slavery. For instance, young black men, though a minority in the USA, they are still the largest number of prisoners. While in prison, these men labor is used to make products for business belonging to the rich. The next discussion I have is class. Class has no one set definition, and trying to define it is more complicated than you might think. According to Abraham Lincoln, he believed as long as someone worked hard and looked beyond the next horizon, there was no need to assign fixed class. The primary source I chose was Wine Urn and the Ball Gown. These two articles are symbols of wealth and class. They were really expensive. No ordinary person would be able to afford them. So when you saw a person wearing this gown, you just gave way because you know they were from affluent families. However, there's been some changes, especially in recent years. For some people that work hard, they can afford some luxury that the upper class have. This does not mean class no longer exists, but it might be even more prevalent with a widening gap between the poor and the rich. The high taxes imposed on the middle class in order to support the super rich agenda are just to mention a few of the way class exists. My third topic I'll talk about is gender. Gender is a very important topic today and in the past. The fifth primary source that I found was important was Emma Goldman interview. She was a very renowned anarchist, journalist, drama critic, advocate of birth control and free love. In the interview, she spoke how women are free to love and how they should send their children in boarding school to have their kids cared for by specialists. So so that women are given a chance. Once the children are sent away, they're given a chance to do what they can do, not only being a mother. Although her strategy was a controversial one, she did bring a lot of women's issue to people's attention. She also fought an 8-hour workday and other improvement in factory condition. If you remember, factories where most women worked, so she brought a lot of she fought for good conditions and the 8-hour workday, which was at least manageable for the women, so they can go home to their children, even if she was against that. A sixth primary source is the story of the Dykes on bikes. We see how these women break gender norms. In the video, we're shown the struggle to have their voices heard and how they won the battle to have their trademark name Dykes on bikes protected, a symbol that affirms lesbians. Though this is a recent story, it entails how women have succeeded in accomplishing some recognition of who they are, and I'm sure they found Emma Goldman as their mentor, as somebody that started this fight. So it just goes to show that we work together as women, we can accomplish a lot. I've learned quite a lot from this class. Race plays an important role in America, although there are many claims that all men are made equal. Some are more equal than the others, from the Animal Farm. Class, although very apparent in a way people conduct themselves, it's really something. It's apparent. I mean, there's no hiding that class. When you meet somebody of another class, you can tell. We're living in a society where 1% controls the country. I don't see how the 99% can be said to fit on that table. With the new president, he wants to cut taxes for the rich while the poor are made to pay high taxes. It was somehow refreshing to see a woman nominated to run for president. It gave us so much hope. Although the ceiling glass was not shattered, it was something worth noting. Race, class, and gender are prerequisites of how much advantage you have to succeed in life. I would like to finish my presentation to the importance of the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in the United States and provides that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the parties shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. This just goes to say that even if slavery is being abolished, there's still, if you are arrested today, you're going back to slavery, and this is what is happening and what has been happening. Thank you very much. Take care.